Hello and welcome to the campus of Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. We're here on a gorgeous March day for a matchup between the Nichols College Bison and the Trinity University Tigers. Hello everybody, I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside Reed Rosales. Reed, this should be a good one between two great offenses. Trinity 12-1, Nichols 3-1. We're fired up.
Yeah, we are fired up, Cole, indeed. Yeah, this one's shaping up to be maybe a bit of a barn burner. Two very solid offenses going at each other. The Tiger pitching staff is very deep, and they showed it in their last series. We'll see how deep it can be with a lot of games, not a lot of days coming up.
You see the Nichols Bison lineup up on your screen. We'll run through it. Julian Galvin playing at second base, hitting leadoff. Anthony Hackert at the DH position. Liam Flynn, the captain and the catcher, hitting third. Carl Miller in right field at cleanup. Andrew Croteau at shortstop, hitting fifth today. Jacob Tippin at first base, followed by Ryan Keating in left field. Center fielder following him, hitting eighth, Stanley Sipkas. And Mitch Brown at third base, hitting in the 9-hole. And pitching for the Tigers today, it's the first year, Andrew Mason.
Andrew Mason, you know, they've brought him out for a couple of openers this year, the Tigers. We'll see how good of an open it'll be against a very stout Nichols offense.
See the numbers on your screen for Julian Galvin as we're underway with a swing and a miss, a fastball right down the middle from Mason. You mentioned it, a couple of openers for Andrew Mason, two in particular opening for Jace Clay. Mason only went an inning plus in each of them, trying to go a little bit longer as the Tigers have games essentially on every day of the week during spring break. That pitch misses, ball one, count 1-1. Pitch from Mason, high, ball two. Brings the count to 2-1 against Julian Galvin, the second baseman.
Mason's got some good velo.
Pitch inside, 3-1, falls behind Galvin early.
See if he can get some good off speeds that would really throw Galvin off.
The 3-1 catches the edge of the zone, strike two. Galvin, a dangerous hitter in the leadoff position, hitting over 600 through 4 games this year. Some of these averages might be a little inflated, partially because not a lot of games, but also these hitters are really good. The 3-2 is grounded on a hop to Will Baker at first. He takes the trip himself, and there's one down in the inning.
A good play over there by Will Baker. He's been very trusty over at first base. He's kind of earned a spot in the lineup due to some shifting of it. He's really earned his name.
Number 2 hitter, Anthony Hackert, now up, also averaging 600. First pitch from Mason, drops in for a strike. A nice breaking ball from the first year.
Hackert had some ridiculous game against Southwestern. 5 for 6 with 4 RBI against the Pirates.
Takes a strike, now down 0-2. Hackert also scoring 3 runs in that game. A large part of their 13-5 win over Southwestern last night. The 0-2 from Mason, grounded to Chapness, makes the throw in time, and a quick 2 outs for the first year Andrew Mason.
Man, that's a good bat to take out. He was ultra dangerous against Southwestern. He was basically hitting everything. So to get out number 2 in a relatively quick time, very promising start.
But it doesn't get any easier with Liam Flynn from Charlestown, Rhode Island, hitting .375, takes a ball high and inside. Ball 1. Nobody on, 2 down in the inning. Mason so far able to retire the first 2 batters he's seen, trying to make it 3 for 3 against Flynn. Pitch misses low, 1-1.
That's a breaking ball that trying to get Flynn to chase, but good eyes.
Taken high. Riding relaying to his pitcher that was a ball high. Brings the count to 3-0. And it misses outside, ball 4, so he retires the first 2 batters, and now a 4-pitch walk.
That was a good-looking pitch. Unfortunately, he didn't quite catch the zone. I like the ideas that Mason used. The breaking ball into the fastball. Unfortunately, didn't go his way that time.
Now Carl Miller, the cleanup hitter, up to the plate. Miller, also an impressive batting average for him. Waves at that, ball in the dirt, but righting, able to jump on top of it. Holds the runner Flynn at first. Carl Miller hitting .364 on his season. He went 2 for 5 against Southwestern. Only hit .192 last season, but so far a much improved year from Carl Miller. Making his 5th start of the year, working with a runner on first in Flynn. 2 down. Pitch in the dirt, and it gets away. This time enough for Flynn to take second. He does so sliding. A runner in scoring position for the Bison.
It's a good opportunity for Nichols early. Talked about it a little beforehand. Maybe we'll see multiple pitchers in this game for both sides. Maybe more than both sides are usually used to doing.
The 1-1, outside, ball 2. And just as quickly as Andrew Mason got the first 2 batters out of this inning, it's slowly getting out of control. Miller already with 4 RBIs on the young season, trying to add a 5th with a base hit here. Works ahead, 2-1. Catches the edge of the zone, strike 2.
You got 2s on the board in this matchup. Feels like a really, really big moment in this inning.
Mason trying to get out of this first inning unscathed, working with a runner on second. The pitch. Lined into right field, it's a base hit. Flynn getting the green light, he's coming home. The throw is cut off, and he is safe.
That's a good early score for Nichols. I think you saw it there. Max Milligan, maybe in different circumstances, would go out and make that catch, but he had to put his hand up because the sun was in his eyes.
It's that time of the year. The sun sets at a low angle. Very difficult for anybody playing right field at a 7 p.m. first pitch. We saw that with Milligan, and it'll go down as an RBI single for Miller. Now Andrew Croteau up. Takes strike 1 right down the chute. Nichols off to a 1-0 lead, a little 2-out rally for the Bison. Croteau, the shortstop today, making his 5th start of the season. 5 RBIs and a .375 batting average. Mason checks on the runner at first to no avail.
The Tigers really had some success with that pickoff maneuver in Game 3 against McMurray. Got a couple guys slipping.
Pitch catches the zone, strike 2, a fastball. So Croteau now down 0-2. Mason trying to limit the damage to 1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Mason gets him with the breaking ball, but allows the first run of the game. It's 1-0 Bison off a Carl Miller RBI single. Tigers up to bat when we come back on the Trinity Tiger Network. Welcome back to a gorgeous San Antonio, Texas. Temperatures at 83 degrees at first pitch. As you see the Trinity University Tigers lineup on your screen. Leading off in left field is Caleb Woodward, followed by Maddox McDonald. Nicholas Lazera at DH instead of catching today. Will Baker at first, hitting cleanup where he has been for the past several games. Followed by the first-year Grant Anderson at third base. Max Milligan out in right field. Cal Coney hitting seventh today at second base. Matthias Writing in at catcher. And Cam Chapness in at short today in the 9-hole. And pitching for the Nichols Bison, Alan Hickley, the sophomore from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, making his second appearance of the season, an ERA currently at 5.25. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings so far, 4 strikeouts and 1 walk.
Hinckley's got a big challenge ahead of him. Last time he pitched was Gordon College. Went 2 2/3, allowed 2 runs.
Woodward takes a pitch high and away, ball 1. High 2-0. Woodward, a dangerous leadoff hitter. Once he gets on, he's been known to take a base. Not a guy you want to walk, but what he's known for most probably, takes a strike 2-1, is the walk-off hit he had his last time up to plate. Bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. A walk-off single that brought in 2 runs to sweep the McMurray Warhawks.
That's a really big moment for this program this year. They have a really good lead in conference right now over second place.
Takes ball 4, and he's off to first base, the leadoff man aboard for Trinity.
And now we're finally getting into some non-conference action. We don't have too many non-conference games with as many conference games we have this year, so we got to take advantage where they can.
Maddox McDonald now up for the Tigers, hitting second. 380 hitter on the year. It's a ball high and inside. So far, Hinckley struggling with his control. That walk from Woodward, only the second walk he's allowed all year. Falling behind McDonald already 1-0. Checks on Woodward, wisely so. Dives back safely.
I think the conditions here for this game, it's much better than it was for that McMurray series where it was nothing but windy for 3 games straight.
Woodward bluffs, pitch outside, throw to first, and Woodward does not even have to dive. Flynn tried to nab him. Brings the count to 2-0. Outside again, and you wonder if Woodward already in Hinckley's head a little bit. 3-0 to Maddox McDonald.
And what you don't want to do here is to walk the 2 first guys you see, especially from this Tiger lineup. Got some dangerous bats in the order.
Finds the zone, brings the count to 3-1. Woodward, 5 stolen bases already this year. He's been nabbed twice, though, 5 for 7 overall. McDonald now in a 3-1 count. Checks on Woodward. Caleb getting a good workout over there, as he often does. Finds the top of the zone with a fastball. It's 3-2.
That was a good-looking fastball. That went into the zone. It broke a little. That was excellent.
Now a full count to Maddox McDonald. Woodward off and running. Paul inside. And back-to-back walks handed out by Hinckley. Runners on first and second for the Tigers.
That's a backbreaker for a pitcher. You battle back from being down 3-0, and then you walk the guy on the 6th pitch. It's tough, but you got to focus on the next guy. You have the luxury of having a double play opportunity.
And the next guy, maybe somebody that deserves focus, Nick Lazera, hitting nearly 360 on the year. And is the DH today. Takes a strike on the outside edge. era, normally a catcher, but lately been focusing on hitting, and it's worked out quite well. Ground ball, softly, could be 2. Throw to first is in time. And a much needed double play for Hinckley.
You couldn't have drawn it up better, Cole. It's that classic double play, short to second to first. It's the most classic double play that baseball has to offer.
So the 6-4-3 double play puts the runner on third, and Woodward brings up Will Baker, still with an opportunity to tie this game. Baker's done quite well recently, hitting over 400 on the season with 5 RBI. Most of that coming in these last few games. Didn't start the year at first base. It was a combination of Nick Jones and Brandon Nelson, but recently it's been Will Baker's position. Check swing didn't go. Takes a pitch inside.
And he's really made it his position. He had 5-hole in game 1 against McMurray. Then he got elevated to clean up, and he just killed it.
Takes a strike on the outside edge, brings the count to 1-2. And all of a sudden, after back-to-back walks, Hinckley in a position to get out of this inning unscathed. Pitch way outside, 2-2.
Yeah, they're trying to get Baker to chase at that pitch, but Baker's got too good of eyes to go after something like that.
The 2-2 with Woodward at third. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. And after back-to-back walks, Hinckley gets out of it with a 0 on the board. His Bison lead it in San Antonio 1-0, top of the second, when we come back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Nichols leading Trinity 1-0. Andrew Mason still on the mound for the Tigers. And up to bat for Nichols is Jacob Tippin, the senior from East Hartford, Connecticut. Mason fires a breaking ball, the inside edge, strike 1. Lined into left field. And it gets down for a base hit. Woodward cuts it off and will hold it to a single. But early swinging pays off for Tippin. It's the second hit of the day for Nichols.
How about a great play out there in left field by Woodward. There's a high bounce that could have easily gone over the glove, but he snags it out of the air, prevents it from being a double.
Ryan Keating now up for Nichols. Tries to drop a bunt down, but the ball too low. Ends up pulling it back for ball 1. Keating, the first year, making his 5th start, so a day 1 starter as a freshman. Hitting .429, so you would understand why. Tries to drop down the bunt again, but hits his leg. He'll go down as a foul ball and strike 1.
And the Warhawks of McMurray tried to lay down a couple bunts in that series as well. Didn't go so well. Tigers actually got them to pop it up off the bunt, so Nichols will have to be careful.
Keating now in a 1-1 count, has to get out of the way, makes it 2-1. Working with a runner on first in Tipton. inside, skips to Writing, but a good block to keep the runner at first. Brings the count to 3-1.
And this is a Nichols offense that scores runs in oodles and bunches. They scored 28 against New England College, which was just one run away from tying their program record that they set back in '83.
Fires a fastball down the middle, strike 2, brings the count full. It's a battle of two teams that have scored 28 runs in a game. Trinity doing it in their second game against Austin College in a 28-4 win. Gets him, strike 3, a breaking ball, bends into the zone. One down in the inning.
That's a big moment for Andrew Mason. Oh, beautiful breaking ball. It's that spot that as a batter you barely see. It's tough to go after.
Stanley Sipkas up, the first, check that the senior. Yet to record a hit this season, but has his opportunity. Hitting 8th in today's lineup at center field. Now down 0-1. Mason tries it again, but Sipkas thinks better of it. One's on the board, a 1-1 count, and one down. Oh, a close play at first. Mason and Will Baker both thought they nabbed the runner at first in Tipton. Able to get back in time. Swing and a miss, a beautiful slider from Mason.
And that's going to be Mason's moneymaker there. If he can pull another one of those off, he'll have a lot of success against a lineup that really likes to swing.
The 1-2 pitch to Sipkas. In the dirt, a good block by Writing. He's already had a few.
It's one of those things that as a catcher, when you get a pitcher that has that breaking ball and has the tendency to go into the turf, you got to be ready to block at any moment.
Now the 2-2. Check swing, but it'll go down as a base hit into right field. Runners are both going for 2 bases. Throw will not be in time. And it'll go down as a double for Sipkas. His first hit of the year puts runners on second and third.
And maybe a bit of a happy accident for Sipkas. I don't think he really meant to swing like that. But 2 runners in scoring position, it's the best thing you can ask for if you're Nichols. The throw in was just a bit too hot for Champness to handle.
Now the 9-hole hitter, Sean McGee, the first year from Milford, Massachusetts. An opportunity to extend the Bison lead. Thinks about it, but takes a strike, 0-1. Such an odd play read. How often do you get an excuse me double?
Not very often, Cole. Might be the first one I've seen here.
The 0-1 to McGee. Looping breaking ball, bit too high, 1-1.
It's a tough situation for Andrew Mason.
And seeing that, Dave Smith will come out. Quick meeting, Matthias Writing, the catcher, coming in as well. We saw this the last time Andrew Mason came out, a strong first inning against Concordia, but ran into some trouble in that second inning trying to get out of it here against Nichols.
Yeah, it's one of those mental blocks as a pitcher sometimes. You can get through the first frame and then the second becomes your big roadblock. You have one bad performance and then sometimes it can snowball into the next game and the next game. It's just something that as, you know, the pitchers develop throughout their careers, you need to get them to shake and go deeper into games.
So Mason getting the opportunity to continue his outing. You'd think the leash will be a little bit longer considering the schedule. The Tigers playing 6 games in 7 days coming up. This being the first of that stretch. So many of the usual arms not available. They want some length out of them. Trying to get it in a 1-1 count right now with one down in the second. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, 1-2. Mason went after him there.
I feel like every time Dave comes out and goes back, it's always a strike immediately. Very inspirational messages.
Some good advice coming from his pitching coach. See if he can use it in a 1-2 count. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. Mason needed that. Fastball high and tight. Gets him swinging, 2 down.
I love that approach to just blow away the batter instead of trying to get a breaking ball for him to chase.
With that, the lineup will flip over. Julian Galvin up today, 0 for 1. Still an impressive batting average on his season. Over a 600 hitter coming into this game. Pitch just misses inside, ball 1.
And that out that he just got there was so big because now you can get the force out at first and be out of the inning.
The 1-0. Lined into center field, and this will score 2 runs. 1 run is in, the other sprinting home, and it's 3-0 Nichols. A 2 RBI single for Julian Galvin.
Yeah, that's a pitch in the zone that every batter will take. Throw that one out into the outfield. Bisons get a good lead going, but I know that this game is likely going to be very high scoring for both sides. At least that's what the Tigers are also hoping for themselves.
Hackert now up for the 2nd time, grounded out to short his first time up, tries to jump down a bunt, went after it for strike 1. 2 down in the inning, a 2 RBI single from Galvin extends the lead to 3-0. So Trinity finding themselves in a hole. Something unusual. This is popped up into foul ground. Will there be a play? No, there will not be. Not enough room for Baker.
You know, it's a midweek game. You know, midweek games in college baseball, they are the Wild West of the Wild West. Pretty much anything can happen in these midweek games.
Now the 0-2 from Mason. This is hit straight up into the air. Chapness going back for it into the outfield grass and makes the catch over his shoulder to end the inning, but not before Nichols extends the lead. It's 3-0 Bison. Tigers up to bat in the bottom of the 2nd when we come back. Hello and welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Bottom of the 2nd, the Nichols Bison up 3-0 on the campus of Trinity University. The number 5 hitter Grant Anderson up to the plate. Takes a pitch away, ball 1. Anderson in at 3rd base today, the first year, hitting .278 on the year. So it's been somewhat of a platoon between him and Kai Tinker at times at that position. Takes a pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
The Tigers had a really good opportunity back in the first to get a run in.
Ground ball, chopper to third, and the play not made. An opportunity at third base for McGee, clanks off his glove. That should go down as an error.
Yeah, I agree, Cole. That is a textbook error. Grant Anderson would have been out probably by a good margin if the play had been made. But now, Tigers, I mean, they're going to take that, get a base runner on with the leadoff man.
The E flashes up on the scoreboard. It does go down as an E6 on McGee, and it brings up Max Milligan. Milligan takes a pitch away, a .222 hitter on the year, the senior from Amarillo, Texas, playing right field today. They check on Anderson at first, dives back safely. So the Tigers in back-to-back innings getting the leadoff runner aboard, unable to do anything with it in the last frame, trying to change that with the middle of the order. Pitch right down the middle, a fastball for strike one.
And this is a Nichols pitching staff that, if you were to ask me who the starter was, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you. They've pitched about a bazillion guys already, just a couple games into the season.
Runner going, Milligan swing and a miss. The throw not in time. And a stolen base for Grant Anderson.
A textbook steal. And the throw kind of bounced off the turf before getting there too. So Grant Anderson got the benefit of that. Runner in scoring position.
You wonder if that was one of those called hit and runs that we discussed earlier in the year. They run a green light offense. Any hit and run is called by the players. Milligan swinging. Seemed like he knew something was coming. Count 1-2, runner on second. Milligan lines it, a fair ball down the right field line. Anderson rounding third. He will come home. Milligan going into second safely. A stand-up RBI double. It's 3-1.
Well, it's like we said, Cole, there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. That was right down the line, like right down the line. A beautiful spot to put it in at this ballpark, too, because you can start to run and run. Yeah, you always love to trade with your guy who's on second base.
So Milligan on second for Cal Coney. Coney playing second base today, hitting seventh. Takes a breaking ball, strike one. Coney's come up with a couple of clutch hits this season already, a .269 hitter on the year. Most notably, the one in the top of the ninth at TLU in game 2 of that series to win it for Trinity. Game where they were down 5-2 entering that inning. Pitch away, but a good block by Flynn to keep it in front of him. Brings the count to 1-1.
And Coney also got it all started off in the bottom of the ninth. That game 3 against McMurray. He was the fire starter, got that rally going.
The count 1-1. Takes a pitch at the top of the zone, 1-2. Nichols out hitting Trinity 4-1, but the Tigers have found other ways on and now in a position with nobody out in the second and a runner in scoring position. Coney fouls it off the end of his bat into the screen behind him, still 1-2.
And Cole, one of the more interesting trends that was in that McMurray series is the Tigers did a lot of damage with 2 outs on the board. Pretty much all their runs from games 2 and 3 came with 2 outs on the board, except for that final rally, which had no outs on the board.
Coney swing and a miss. Slider gets him, and there's one down in the inning.
A good work by Hinckley. Get that first out. Get that first out on his own accord, too. But still, you have that runner in scoring position. You cannot give any rest.
Matthias Writing comes up to the plate, making his 11th appearance of the season, his 5th start. Been playing a little more at catcher so far as Nick Lazara is getting more time at designated hitter. Writing hitting 8th today, working with the runner on second. Takes a slider away, 1-0.
Our Writing could come in really clutch by getting it on base. It's that part of the lineup that Nichols is hoping to take advantage of.
Fastball right down the middle, 1-1. So you'd think at the bottom of the lineup, this is the time where Hinckley needs to go after these hitters. Does it there with that pitch. Pitch inside, 2-1.
And I think Milligan is doing a really good job trying to get into Hinckley's head, dancing over at second base.
We saw that in the first inning with Caleb Woodward doing some dancing at first base. Pitch outside, 3-1, and in danger of losing the 8-hole hitter, bringing up Cam Champness, who's on deck with runners on first and second. Fouled off, full count.
And maybe a bit of a defensive swing from Writing. Still have the runner at second. Drawing the count out for Hinckley.
The 3-2. Chopper to second. Throw to first in time. 2 away. Looked for a second, like Tipton thought they got out of the inning. Not so fast, 2 down.
Yeah, no, I thought the umpire was almost going to get hit on that ground ball, or he was going to obstruct the view of the ground ball. But no, play gets made. Runner heads to third. This is a similar situation to what the Tigers were in last inning, but we'll see if they can make good of it this time.
So Cam Champness comes up to the plate with 2 down. Takes a pitch away, 1-0. Champness, a .333 hitter on the season so far. Playing shortstop today, his usual position when he enters the lineup. Primarily been John Ramsey so far, but Champness getting an opportunity. Takes another pitch away, 2-0.
And Champness brought the Game 3 in McMurray within 1.
We're going to have a full conversation. The entire infield and the catcher Flynn coming in. And a quick conversation. We are adjourned.
Maybe just a conversation of, Hinckley's kind of been a bit wild in this inning and the last inning. So maybe just calm down, throw your stuff, we'll get out of it. It's only 1 run, we're still in the lead.
Working behind 2-0 with 2 down. Pitch way inside, so you're talking about when pitching coach for Trinity, Dave Smith, goes out there, it's always a strike. Not the case there, behind 3-0. And away again, a 4-pitch walk, not what you want to see with 2 down.
No, definitely not what you want to see when the lineup gets turned over for the Tigers too.
So now the leadoff man, Caleb Woodward, as this lineup flips over for Trinity. In his first plate appearance, he walked, a .311 hitter on the season, .944 OPS. Works with runners at the corners. Pitch inside again. So if this were Texas A&M, you'd hear the ball 6 chants coming out. The 1-0 pitch. Tying run on first base in the second. Nice slider, catches the zone, 1-1.
Yeah, you have the Cam Champness to Caleb Woodward. That was the batting order for that walk-off in Game 3.
Fouled off behind Woodward, brings the count to 1-2. Tigers trying not to squander another opportunity with runners on base. You get the feeling that against this Nichols team, you're going to need to bring those guys in. It's Milligan on third, Champness on first. Woodward at the plate, 1-2. Grounded to second, the throw made in time, and that ends the inning. Hinckley gets out of it, leaves 2 runners stranded for Trinity. This score still 3-1. The Tigers get one back in the second. Welcome back for the top of the third inning in San Antonio. The sun has almost gone completely away as the Nichols Bison have the 3-1 lead over Trinity University and the Tigers. Will Taylor now on the mound for Trinity. His pitching change occurred during the break. He'll face Liam Flynn. Saw the numbers on your screen for Will Taylor. The ERA as good as it gets at 0. The whip a little high above 2, but an opportunity to lower that in this outing. Fouled off and out of play by Flynn, brings the count 1-1.
Last time Will Taylor made an appearance at Concordia, he went 2 innings, only 1 hit allowed, and of course his ERA is 0, so he didn't give up a run.
Called strike, brings the count to 1-2. Ground ball, Flynn stays alive. Flynn, the catcher and captain, walked in his first plate appearance. Now working against a different pitcher in his second, as this promises to be a bullpen day for Trinity. The 1-2. Line to first, clinks off the glove of Baker. It's a race to the bag, and Will Baker wins it.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about Will Baker. Even when the ball does eat him up a little bit, he's quick to react, not get frazzled, just get the ball, step on the base. Not every play needs to be ultra clean, as long as you get the out.
First pitch from Taylor, in for strike 1 against Carl Miller. Miller 1 for 1, had an RBI single in the first. Put the Bison up 1-0 at the time. They now have the 3-1 lead here in Trinity. Big swing fouled off. Count is now 0-2. But going back to that Will Baker play, very well done. Thought for a second we were going to have a New York Yankees situation on our hand. But Baker able to sprint to the bag and get there in time. Now the 0-2 pitch from Taylor just misses. Now 1-2.
And Will Taylor's working at a good pace. You know, the locations that he puts his pitches, it's tough for the batter.
The 1-2 fouled off again. So Miller, the cleanup man, doing a good job staying alive. One of many Nichols Bison to come into this game with an average well above 300. You're seeing why, just quality at bats across the board. Line to short, and it's off the glove of Champness. Miller will stop at first. It'll go down, you would assume, as a base hit, and the H does flash on the scoreboard. So Miller 2 for 2 with 2 singles.
Yeah, it's a good hit, but all credit to Cam Champness. Man, he almost made that play. That would have been incredible if he did, but you know, all props to him for actually elevating himself that high.
somehow got there, just couldn't squeeze it in. Goes off his glove. Now Taylor works with a runner on first and one out. Now faces Croto, the shortstop. Croto 0 for 1, struck out against Andrew Mason. As Taylor kind of checks on the runner at first. Counts.
Very half-hearted attempt. We've seen a couple of those from both sides this game so far.
The 1-0. High and inside, 2-0.
Sometimes it's just a focus thing. Get your focus back as a pitcher.
Runner goes, pitch inside, throw, not in time. Looked like it had a chance when it left the arm of Riding. Almost wonder if it was too far to the right.
And just a little bit. That was the only thing that was wrong with that throw. Yeah, Riding definitely had an opportunity to get the runner.
The 3-0, right down the middle, strike one. So it goes down as a stolen base for Carl Miller. Finds himself at second with one down. Nichols trying to extend their lead, already up 3-1. Lined, sliding play by Coney, makes the throw, and it is in time, 2 down as the runner advances to third.
Yeah, smooth moves by Cal Coney. It's a tough ground ball to field. He does it, spin around throw. That was clean.
You can hit it anywhere, don't hit it to Coney Island. Nice sliding play from the junior. Jacob Tipton now up. Takes a strike on the outside edge. Tippin, the first baseman, the senior. 1 for 1 so far, had a single in the second. Chopper to short, Champness makes the throw in time, and Taylor gets out of the jam. The runner gets to second, but Will Taylor leaves him stranded, and this lead is still 3-1 for Nichols. Welcome back to the bottom of the third in San Antonio, Texas. Alan Hinckley back on the mound for the Bison, and he'll face the number 2 hitter for the Trinity Tigers, Maddox McDonald. McDonald walked in his first and only plate appearance, now up for the second time today. His Tigers down 3-1. Takes a nice breaking ball low for ball 1.
Yeah, that was a really good speed difference. Hinckley's been hitting 90. That's 72.
McDonald hits this one sky high. Will there be a play? And a nice catch made. That looked like Tippin, the first baseman, ranging over into foul ground. Just gets it with his glove.
Yeah, and even though it's not as windy as it was against McMurray, it's still windy. And to keep track of it, it looks like it moved maybe like one of the last moments. Yeah, good job by Tipton.
Brings up the number 3 hitter, Nick Lazera. .350 hitter on the season, 0 for 1 today. The OPS still at 980. Takes a pitch away. That one only 77. Talked about that speed difference. It is quite prevalent. So far, it's working against this Trinity offense. Swing and a miss from Lazera. Brings the count to 1-1. Nichols out hitting the Tigers 5-1 so far. It's been walks and errors committed by the Nichols defense that have allowed Trinity to get traffic. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And Lazera trying to sit on that ball, but just a little too high.
Ball high, evens the count at 2 apiece. Lazera trying to find his way on. Expected a lot of runs, and so far they've come. Pitch in the dirt, a good take by Lazera. A lot of break on that ball. Brings the count full.
And I think Hinckley, a pitcher that the Tiger bats be a bit more patient with.
And patience rewarded there. Ball 4. Lazera takes a pitch inside and takes a free pass to first base.
Hinckley, he's been settling in a little bit, but he's still having a bit of trouble locating some of his off-speed stuff and sometimes his fastball. I think patience is going to reward the Tigers heavily if they show it at the plate like Lazera did.
We'll see if Will Baker follows a similar strategy. A nice defensive play in the last half inning. Today 0 for 1 with a strikeout at the plate. Takes a curveball into the zone for strike 1. Hinckley's already forced 1 double play today, seeing if he can get another one to end this frame. Ground ball, this could be it. Steps on second, throw to first in time. The second double play forced by Alan Hinckley. And the second scoreless frame he's put up. 2 out of 3 so far. His Bison lead at 3-1 in San Antonio. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. Will Taylor back on the mound for the Tigers, who find themselves down 3-1 to the Nichols Bison. Leading off for Nichols, it'll be Ryan Keating, the first year from Massachusetts, over a 400 hitter. First pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Reed, you know Will Taylor quite well. You know him in another aspect of Trinity life.
I do, Cole.
This is lined into left field, a base hit. Finds the hole between third and short, and the leadoff man aboard for Nichols.
Again, it's quick swings from Nichols, getting them most of their success. I think the lefty aspect maybe benefiting with the style that Will Taylor throws with. Early burst base runner for Nichols.
Sipkus now up. Early swinging again. This one fouled into the screen. But Reed, before you were rudely interrupted by that base hit, the 6th hit of the day for Nichols, you were saying how you knew Will Taylor outside of baseball.
I do. I peer tutored him in. At Trinity, we have these things called first-year experiences, where basically your first year you take, I'm trying to think, it's a 5 or 6 credit hour class that's just dedicated to one subject, in quotes.
Taylor checks on the runner again.
Well, you do these broad subjects, and I was able to peer tutor Will Taylor in sci-fi, classified science fiction.
3 in a row from Will Taylor. Did you teach him that?
I'm not quite sure I taught him that one. I did tell him to proofread. That is something we tell all our students. So he proofreading on the base paths.
Taylor in an 0-1 count, checking his work at first base. Steps off, and that will be a balk. So Keating heads to second. And now the job a little tougher for the first year. Runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Will Taylor, very well-spoken guy, incredibly intelligent. And reading some of his papers, was very impressed.
Sipkus pulls back the bunt. Brings the count to 1-1. So Reed, another question I have with this relationship that you have as Will Taylor's peer tutor. What do you actually do as a peer tutor? I always wondered this. They came to certain, I would say office hours is what they had. I don't know if you had office hours in sci-fi or not. Bunt dropped down, but foul brings the count 1-2. But outside of that, I don't know what a peer tutor does. So can you explain how you helped Will and your other students?
Yeah, you know, helping the professor set up class, writing questions. We had a cool classroom where we could write on every single wall. So I'd write stuff on the walls, questions and discussions that they do in group work.
The 1-2 count, swing and a miss. That's strike 3. I don't know if you covered that in your lecture or not, but a strikeout for Will Taylor, the first out of the inning.
But really, the best thing that I got to do was for their final, every student has to come meet with me, and I have to approve their topic. Everyone came with a really good topic. Will, no different than the rest, but he's been killing it.
First pitch inside, strike 1 to the 9-hitter, Sean McGee. McGee 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Works with 1 down and a runner on second. Pitch away, 1-1. Will Taylor, an interesting pitcher in a lot of ways. He does some very unusual things on the mound between his leg kick and some of the pitches that he throws. Swing and a miss, 1-2, but so far this year it's been effective. ERA of 0 still to this point.
Yeah, sometimes it's those out-of-the-box styles that come out to be the most effective.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Will Taylor.
And Will Taylor does not care about that pressure that is behind him right now. He's acting like there is nobody on the base.
Brings up Julian Galvin, 1 for 2 today. Has an RBI single in this game. Got it his last time up. This is third plate appearance. Runner goes, throw from righting to third will not be in time. A stolen base for Ryan Keating, his 4th of the season.
Yeah, good idea. You get the man to third. Unfortunately for Nichols, you can't sac fly him in. You got to get a hit.
Grounded to Anderson, steps and fires across the diamond in time to end the inning. So Will Taylor gets into a little bit of trouble, but your former pupil gets out of it. Still 3-1 Nichols as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University here in the Alamo City. Grant Anderson, the third baseman, coming up to the plate. His Tigers in the bottom of the fourth, down 3-1 to Nichols. Takes a pitch low, ball one, and Anderson's first plate appearance. He found his way on first base, and E6, the third baseman McGee. Now the 1-0 count, Anderson fouls it back into the screen. Alan Hinckley still on the mound in his second appearance of the season. It's gone swimmingly, I would say. In his fourth inning of work, only one run surrendered. Anderson pops it up, sky high, near us, catchable, but not quite. That's the closest call we've had. About a 5-hopper rolling towards the football field. It'll hang out on the Bell Center roof for the rest of the night. The 1-2 pitch, fouled off. Anderson stays alive. That definitely is the closest call we've had.
See, I would have gone and made the play if it was going to hit the tent. I was more concerned that it was going to hit the tent and we'd have a problem with it collapsing on us.
The 1-2, Anderson lines this, but heading foul past the bullpen of Nichols. And hopefully nobody was walking by at that time.
I think that might have hit off the window where people doing the stats are, Garrett Landon.
Wonder if Garrett got a little bit of a scare there. Fouled straight back into the screen, and you hear the cheering from the Tigers dugout. This has been a good at-bat so far for Grant Anderson, staying alive. 3 consecutive foul balls. Actually, that might be 4 now. Either way, 1-2. Lined into right field. It's a base hit. This will go all the way to the wall. Anderson charging into second. He'll stay there with a leadoff double.
That is what the Tigers need to start off this inning. Just fight, fight, fight. He got the hit. It's a good hit into right field, off the wall. No chance for anybody to get to it. Runner at scoring position for the Tigers.
Boy, he earned that one. 4 consecutive foul balls, all leading to a leadoff double as Max Milligan is now set up. That was the second hit of the night for Trinity. It comes in the 4th inning. Milligan, 1 for 1 today. He had the other hit, a double off his own bat. Pitch way outside. A good play by Flynn to even catch that.
Grant Anderson, he's got some raw power in that bat too. He hit about a 9,000-foot foul ball in the McMurray series.
The 1-0 to Milligan. Strike called, inner edge. Good pitch from Hinckley.
You know, when Hinckley does get those strikes in the zone, if you're the Tigerettes, don't panic if you are even or even behind in the count.
Milligan tries to drop down the bunt, gets away for a second, but Flynn able to find it, sends Grant Anderson retreating back to second base wisely.
Yeah, I think Flynn and Writing for the first part of the game in a very similar situation. Pitcher with a lot of breaking action. You got to get ready because at any point it could end up in the turf.
The 2-1, the energy coming from the Tiger dugout. Milligan, foul ball down the third base line.
Yeah, had good speed off of it. Millie's gonna see if he can get a barrel behind a similar pitch, except keep it fair this time.
Milligan in a 2-2 count. Runner on second, nobody out. Fouled off again. You wonder if this is frustrating Hinckley or not. Back-to-back 2-strike counts on back-to-back hitters, and both of them working hard to extend the at-bat.
And that was a long foul ball from Millie, too.
Throws to second, close play, but Anderson back safely.
Yeah, it was a very solid attempt to try and get Anderson off the base paths. Tigers kind of had a bit of trouble on the base paths terms of getting picked off in that McMurray series. Maybe Nichols doing a little research.
Now the 2-2. Milligan, deep, far, it is gone! Tie game! The first home run of the season for Max Milligan, and it's 3-3 in San Antonio.
Oh man, Cole. When we saw that foul ball go about to the pool on a couple pitches before, I just kind of had a feeling like, man, he could really crank one out of the park. Pulls it that time. Yeah, that was gone off the bat. Everyone knew it. The question was only if it was going to stay fair, and it did.
Now a full team meeting as this game is all of a sudden tied. You had the feeling 3 was not going to be enough. And Max Milligan will end the day for Alan Hinckley. A pitching change here in San Antonio and a brand new ball game in the 4th. A rocket off the bat of Milligan. It's 3-3. Welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. We're here for the bottom of the 4th, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Bison. It's Richard Pignone, the senior from Stoneham, Massachusetts, making his 2nd appearance of the season. He'll face Cal Coney, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch outside, ball 1. You see the numbers for Coney on the year. The OPS above 800, a nice bounce-back season for the junior. Hit under 200 in his sophomore year, but so far coming on strong in his junior year. Pitch away, 2-0.
And for Pignone, last time he made an appearance was against New England College. He pitched an inning, didn't allow a hit, didn't allow a run. So not a big sample size, but from what I'm seeing so far, a lot of off-speed stuff.
The 2-0. High, ball 3. You know, it's fascinating looking at the numbers from that New England College game. They won 28-4. And I was going through looking at each pitcher's last appearance, and I feel like there are only 9 innings in a game, Reed. Yet it felt like every pitcher threw. So I'm just wondering how they collected more than 27 outs. High, ball 4, and not a good start for the replacement pitcher. A 4-pitch walk with nobody out.
I agree, Cole. Looking at their stats page on their website, because as a pitcher, you only get put on the stats page if you make an appearance. And they have a laundry list of pitchers for only 4 games. Before then, for only 3 games, they had a long list. I was just thinking, like, man, how many guys did they throw?
Coney waits on first. Matthias Riding up to the plate. takes a strike on the outside edge, a fastball from Pignon. But that was my main takeaway when prepping for the Nichols pitching staff. It was a good game against New England College for them, obviously. 28 runs, great job, only 4 allowed. Yeah, fantastic for them. But they had a lot of guys throw. Coney dives back to first, but that gets away. Coney headed for second, he gets there easily. He's rounding second, going for third. The throw offline, a 2-base error. Great base running by Cal Coney. He finds his way at the last bag before home.
Man, it's those 2-base errors that hurt the most. That pickoff move, that throw over to first. You know, Cal Coney was in between the first baseman and where the ball was going, so you couldn't reach over Cal Coney, so it was going to get away.
And a point at the dugout, or the bullpen, excuse me, and that will be the day for Pignon. Another pitching change coming in San Antonio. This game is tied 3-3. Trinity with a runner on third when we come back on the Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City, 3-3 between the Tigers and Bison. New pitcher in the game for Nichols, it's Patrick Doyle, the senior from New York State. This is lined by Matthias Riding, and it will bring home Cal Coney. Riding stops at first. He's given Trinity the lead. It's 4-3.
Man, Cole, we didn't really get into the pitcher before the run came in to score. Of course, that one's going to be on Pignon. But, man, great job by Matthias Riding. He's put the Tigers on top.
Well, Matthias Riding had a batting average that was below 100 coming into that at-bat. Not the case anymore, and gives the Tigers their first lead of the night. Now 4-3. Brings up Cam Champness. Takes a pitch low, ball one. But you're right, Reed. We didn't even get into Patrick Doyle and his numbers. Both Pignon and Doyle came into this game with ERAs at 0. So one of those was going to go away, and unfortunately for Pignon, his is no longer at 0. Check on the runner at first and Riding, who dives back safely. But that's one of the big questions for this Nichols Bison team. We know they can score runs. They've done it throughout their program history. In fact, last season they were in the top 50 in Division III baseball in pretty much every important offensive category. But not in the top 100 in essentially every pitching category that matters to anybody. So that was the battle they were going to fight. Got to talk to Coach Tim Mayo before the game, and he was very encouraged by their staff, particularly last night. Thought they threw the ball well. And he knows, just like everybody else around that program, that that's going to be the key to success. They can hit, but can they pitch? This is hit in the air off the bat of Champness. And the catch is made by Sipkus. One down in the inning.
You know, it was hit into the right spot, but unfortunately the launch angle was just not favorable for the ball to get down. I thought the wind might take it last moment, but no, the catch was made.
So the lineup flips over for Trinity. Caleb Woodward, the leadoff man. 0 for 1, grounded out to second his last time up. He's also walked. Takes a pitch on the outside edge, strike one. Those of you who are just joining us, Trinity scoring 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. This is the 3rd pitcher that Nichols has used in this frame. Still only 1 down in the inning. Trinity with the 4-3 lead. Pitch inside. Riding bluffed like he was going to go, instead tracks back. Count is 1-1. Getting back to the conversation about Nichols and their pitching staff, that's going to be the key. They won 29 games last year. It was a very good season, but that was all on the back of their bats. They're going to improve. It's going to have to be on the mound. Pitch away, 2-1 to Woodward.
Man, for Patrick Doyle in particular, you know, you said he's made 2 appearances, 1 against Gordon, pitched 1 1/3, no hits, no earned runs. He pitched in that loss against St. Joseph's, but he didn't give up a run in 2/3 inning of work.
Checks on Riding, who gets back safely.
A lot of these pitchers for Nichols as well have 0 ERA, but not a lot of sample size. So I'm interested to see how they look as time goes on.
Woodward takes a ball just low. We got some nice picture-in-picture here. This is a first at Tiger Network, at least for baseball games. Shout out to our executive producer, Josh Michigemba, for making that happen. You see Matthias Riding waiting at first base. We'll see how patiently in a 3-1 count. High, ball 4. And the second walk of the game worked by Caleb Woodward.
Runner in scoring position for the Tigers again. Only an out in the inning. You could get out of it with a double play, which the Bisons have already turned a couple.
Nichols coming into the game, a .373 hitter, 16 RBI, the OPS. Well, check that, Maddox McDonald. Lazera waiting on deck. I was ahead of myself on that one. Pitch away, ball 1. So Maddox McDonald, the .378 hitter, 16 RBI. All those numbers that you saw, OPS over 1,000. Working with runners on first and second for the Tigers. Strike 1.
Man, that's a really good location. That low outside corner. Really painted it.
Doyle in a 1-1 count. McDonald lines that one. Fair ball. No, foul. Looked fair from our vantage point, but the umpire gives the foul signal and everybody will go back.
He bounce over the base and then on the other side of the foul line.
That looked like a fair ball to me.
Well,
I'll stand by what I said. People can disagree at home.
Yeah.
That's
we'll
my
leave it up to viewer discretion.
Either way, 1-2 count, throw back to first. Not in time to get Woodward. You know, you got to wonder why teams across Division III baseball, not just Nichols because it didn't work out for them with Calcone, but why they try that pickoff move so much. Because I can tell you, having called a number of these games, I have seen it gone poorly more than I've seen it gone well. McDonald lines it past the dive. 1 run is coming in Riding. Woodward will stop at third. McDonald slides in safely at second. It's an RBI double for Maddox McDonald, 5-3 Tigers.
Man, I thought for a moment we were going to get one of those web gems from Croteau, but just barely beyond his outstretched glove. Excellent hitting by Maddox McDonald. The Tigers are really on a roll in this inning.
Croteau so close to that. Had to pause for a second, make sure he didn't get it. Ball ekes behind him. goes down as the first hit of the day for Maddox McDonald. The Tigers came into this inning with only 1 hit through 3 innings. They have 4 hits just in this inning. Still only 1 out. Runners on first and second, and a dangerous bat in Nick Lazera. Grounded foul towards the Bison dugout.
It does not get any easier. This is what I was interested in coming into this matchup, because Nichols has played a lot of teams that maybe aren't necessarily the greatest at hitting, but you're going up against a really good Trinity squad that has put up a lot of runs in certain cases and can swing with the best of them.
It's fascinating how some of the numbers have gone. They were 29th in the country in average last season. Pitch inside ball 2, which is very good, but when you've been around the program and knowing the standard that they hold these bats to, 29th in the country, not where Tim Scannell and company want that number to be this year, up there as well. The runs are coming in, and so are the wins. Oh, nice play by Doyle, throws to first. The 1-3 put out, and a fine one to get Lazera.
Yeah, unfortunate for Lazera. Just one of those things where pitcher, he gets one sometimes. For Nick Lazera, I'm sure he'll come back to the plate wanting to get a hit.
And now another meeting after Doyle made that spectacular play from his office on the mound. We'll see if this is just a chat or a change. So far, the baseball's still in his hand, and there it goes. The point to the bullpen, and this will be another change, the 4th arm of the inning coming in for the Nichols Bison. We'll be back on Tiger Network, a pitching change in San Antonio. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Another pitching change in San Antonio. It's Salvatore Deanna, a senior from Connecticut, making his 2nd appearance of the season. The ERA at 12. He'll have the opportunity to lower that, but it'll be a tough one going against Will Baker, a .375 average. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Tigers. Baker takes ball 1.
And Cole, if I'm not mistaken, this is our 3rd pitcher this inning?
4th.
Nichols? 4th.
4th pitcher this inning, 3rd change. Pitch on the outside part of the zone, strike 1. It was Hinckley that started this inning and then was taken out after giving up the game-tying home run to Max Milligan. And since then, this is our 3rd reliever. Pitch misses, 2-1.
You hear of a pitcher's relay. Man, Nichols certainly not shying away with that. They've used a lot of pitchers in every one of their games this season.
The 2-1 misses. So Baker in a hitter's count, 3-1. Nichols approaching the end of their Texas trip. They were in Georgetown playing Southwestern last night. Baker grounds this to 2nd. The throw from Galvin in time, and that will end the inning, but not before Trinity takes their first lead of the night. A 4-run inning in the fourth put up by the Tigers. It's 5-3 as we head to the top of the fifth on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The same pitcher on the mound for the Trinity Tigers, Will Taylor, still on the bump for the maroon and white, or I guess the maroon and blue tonight. First pitch misses, ball one. As we're finally in the top of the fifth. It was a long time coming. Multiple pitching change, 4 runs for the Tigers. Foul back into the screen, 1-1.
Cole, we were talking about it a little earlier off air. I do like the combination of the blue tops and the pinstripe bottoms.
Lined and fouled into the screen. It's 1-2 off the bat of Hackert. The DH, 0 for 2 today. Came in with an average above 600. Now hitting 500. OPS still well over 1,000. Good numbers on the season. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Writing will have to throw to first, and he does so to finish the job. Check that third strikeout for Will Taylor tonight.
You're going to see the pitch. That Writing dropped the ball, so had to throw it to first. But again, that was a good elevation pitch from Will Taylor.
Now Flynn, the catcher, up. Swing and a miss. 84 miles per hour on that, but it looks like a fastball, and that's something that he does. He just throws a slow fastball at times. Effective on that pitch. In the dirt, 1-1. We talked about some of the odd things that Will Taylor does at times. If you watch his leg kick, he kind of hangs his leg in the air and then randomly straightens it as he delivers. Very odd delivery, but something that he finds to be effective. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And I love pitchers with interesting wind-ups and thinking out of the box strategies. It's been awesome to watch Will Taylor.
Inside, 81 on that pitch. Brings the count to 2-2.
Will Taylor's been giving them some good work ever since he's come in.
Proven to be an effective middle reliever. Trying to finish Flynn. Ground ball, leaks foul. And we'll do it again at 2-2.
May have fouled it off his helmet. He took it off and looked at it for a moment.
Quite possibly. He didn't react as though he did other than taking off his helmet. That's a catcher for you. Tough company. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Foul tip into the glove of Writing. Back-to-back strikeouts for Will Taylor. He struck out 4 of 5.
It's just the effectiveness of Will Taylor. Oh, man. If I saw that, I would swing too. Crazy good pitch.
Carl Miller now up. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles on the night. Takes a pitch high. It's like the Bugs Bunny slow ball. Trying to strike out all 3 at once. Pitch inside, 2-0. It's quite impressive because he can get into the high 80s on his fastball, but throws it at that, on that particular pitch, it was 79. He's had it at 81 in the past. Finds the zone, strike called, that 184.
It's that mix-up of speeds that, as a batter, is really frustrating. You want to sit on one pitch, but when it's never at a consistent speed.
Lined into right field, and what a day for Carl Miller. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, it was a good piece of hitting. The ball kind of broke right into the heart of the zone. So good pitch to hit. And Nichols has had a couple players just have really good individual days at the plate. I think maybe one of the problems that is kind of rearing its head is not really back-to-back.
Andrew Croteau trying to change that. 0 for 2 today. Still a 300 hitter on the season. Works with Carl Miller at first. You see him in the split screen. Throw to first, not in time. Pitch in the dirt, 2-0. That skips to Writing, who makes another block. And despite the low batting average from Matthias Writing, that's the reason why you see him out there. They love his defense. They think he is an excellent defensive catcher, just in the way he catches, getting more calls than normal. Pitch right down the middle, strike 2. Check that, strike 1.
Yeah, it's more prototypical of a catcher usually is you love the defense.
Ground ball to Coney. Takes the out at first, and that ends the inning. So another scoreless frame put up by Will Taylor. Trinity hangs on to its 5-3 lead. They're up to bat when we come back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to Trinity University Ballpark, where the Tigers have a 5-3 lead over the Nichols Bison. And the same man who led off the bottom of the 4th will lead off the bottom of the 5th. It's Grant Anderson. Anderson 1 for 2 today. Led off the bottom of the 4th with a double. Got the party started, was brought home on the Max Milligan home run. Takes a pitch away, ball 1. Slider misses 2-0, and it was Anderson's gritty at-bat that allowed the Tigers to bring in all those runs, a total of 4 in the inning. They have a 2-run lead currently.
Yeah, when you just foul off and foul off and foul off.
Has to duck out of the way of that pitch. Gets all the way to the backstop, makes it 3-0.
Yeah, made a rainbow over his head. But when you just foul pitches off, it frustrates the pitcher, and eventually they got to give you something to hit. Something you can really get your barrel behind, and he certainly did that.
Alan Hinckley, the starter for the Bison, was rolling along until Anderson got to him. And a patient at-bat here, a 4-pitch walk. He's on first base.
Deanna, his last appearance, he started the game that Nichols had against St. Joseph's, Connecticut. Didn't go so well. 2 1/3 inning pitched. He gave up 4. He only walked 1 batter, and he struck out 5, but still took the loss.
Now faces Max Milligan. Easy to remember what he did the last time he was up. Game-tying home run to the right field corner. Now ahead 1-0. Just catches the zone, 1-1.
Yeah, it's one of the more deeper home runs we've seen this season. Went quite a ways.
Runner goes. Milligan still swings. The throw is high. Anderson will stay at second despite the throw getting away.
You know what the picture-in-picture reminds me of, Cole? That helped us see, that started the steal. First of all, great steal. The throw was too high. He was going to make it anyways. Reminds me of the old MLB games.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd see the runner on first, second, and third through a little picture-in-picture.
Now the 1-2. Milligan rounds it to second. Galvin the throw, and they get the out. Anderson will advance to third, so Milligan does his job.
And sometimes all you need to do is just simply advance the runner. That's what Millie did. You can get a sacrifice fly and drive in Anderson. Put yourselves up double what Nichols has right now.
Now Calcone up, 0 for 1 today. He's also walked. Works in an RBI opportunity where a sac fly or a ground ball first base way would do the job. That gets away. Anderson charging home, slides in safely. So the wild pitch scores a run for the Tigers. It's 6-3.
It's really unfortunate. That's kind of been the first pitch all day that Flint hasn't been able to keep in front of him. Gets away, and it's a costly mistake.
Sweet camera angle to see Grant Anderson sliding in safely. Puts the Tigers up 6-3, and you think every run is important against these Nichols Bison. They can score. We've referenced that already. Talked about how 2 runs probably wasn't enough of a cushion against these Tigers. I would say the same for 3 against Nichols. Pitch misses, and Coney in an early 3-0 count.
And they're in a tough conference too. Really one tough player in the Conference of New England, Endicott. That is a World Series contender, folks.
Strike down the chute, 3-1. Trinity Tigers coming into this game ranked number 7th in the country. Endicott, I believe, currently at 5. So it gives you a sense of the quality of competition Nichols is seeing on a yearly basis. Pitch inside, and that got Coney's hand. And you just got to hope he's okay. Very unfortunate, as that would have been ball 4 anyways. As this place just fell silent when that happened. Now getting some slow applause as he jogs to first.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Right on the wrist. It looks like Coney is okay. He went over to first base, so I think we're all thankful for that. Coney, a key player for the Tigers.
As we're going to get another visit, and you would assume, based on past precedent, that this will be another change. No point to the bullpen yet. And there it is, a pitching change in San Antonio. 6-3, Trinity has the lead over Nichols. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Another pitcher in for Nichols, Sean Ryan, entering the game, the ERA of 0. He has only pitched a third of an inning, the sample size small, to say the least. But that one out, a strikeout. So he will be tasked with holding this deficit where it is. 6-3, Trinity has the lead as they'll work against the 8-hole hitter and Matthias Riding. 1 for 2 today. And an RBI. It was the RBI that gave Trinity its first lead, 4-3. Looping breaking ball, catches the zone inside part of the plate, strike 1.
Yeah, talk about a slow breaking ball, 63 miles per hour. We'll see what the velo on the fastball is like.
Runner goes, and Coney swinging a miss from Riding. The throw gets into center field, but Coney staying where he is, nicely backed up by Croto in center.
It looks like maybe gonna be a lot of breaking balls out of the pitcher. Have to keep your eyes peeled if you're the Tigers. Make sure you're not swinging at something that's gonna fall off the table.
Riding down 0-2. Coney at second. Breaking ball misses high. Good take by Riding. Trinity trying to add on to this lead. Only 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. They've already scored in this frame. Riding to right center. Catch is made. Coney tagging. And the throw cut off by Croto at short. Coney slides in safely.
That's a good job by Riding. RBI last time was great, but just advancing the runner. Another chance to score. Sometimes
now Cam Champness comes up with 2 down. Cal Coney on third, who managed to stay into the game despite what looked like a brutal hit by pitch. All hit by pitches probably suck for the batter. Some are much worse than others, and that seemed to be on the worst end. Swing and a miss from Champness at a breaking ball, 0-1.
Yeah, taking it on the wrist, no matter what speed it is, it doesn't feel good.
Coney able to stay into the game somehow. Understandably, he went away wincing, but went back to first base. Champness lines this to center field. Sipkis over and makes the catch that ends the inning. So the runner left stranded, but Trinity able to tack on another one. It's 6-3 Tigers as we head to the 6th in San Antonio. And welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. The hometown Tigers have the lead, 6-3 against the visiting Nichols Bison. Will Taylor back on the mound for Trinity. He's had a good night so far, trying to finish his 4th inning of work. He faces Jacob Tipton. Fires strike 1. Pitch gets away, brings the count to 1-1. Tipton 1 for 2 today, and a base hit in the second. He's also grounded out to short. The 1-1 from Taylor. Finds the zone, 1-2. You know, it's interesting, Reed. Nichols out hitting Trinity despite being down 3 runs. They have 7 hits. The Trinity's 5. The Tigers just making fewer mistakes. Hit down the third baseline and foul Count will stay at 1-2, but Trinity just making fewer mistakes, giving Nichols fewer free passes.
And Nichols, they haven't had too many opportunities since Will Taylor's come on. They've had a couple guys in scoring position, but none have come in.
Pitch high brings the count to 2-2.
And if you're Nichols, you really have to figure out Taylor at some point, or else you're just going to get rolled over.
Ground ball, third base way, but Anderson picks it up in foul ground. But again, stay tuned, folks, because Nichols scores a lot of runs, 13 on the board last night in Georgetown. A dominating win over Southwestern, who's thought to be a pretty good team. Fouled back at the top of the screen. Count will remain at 2-2. I believe that loss dropped Southwestern to 7-7, so not as strong of a start as they would have expected, but still a lot of talent out there in Georgetown. And Nichols went up there and made it look pretty easy at times. The 2-2. Lined to left. Woodward makes the catch, and there's one away.
Yeah, good contact, just right to where fielder was, unfortunately, for Nichols. Can't get anything going. And yeah, Cole, they went up to Southwestern and scored in every single inning except for one.
Rounded foul by Ryan Keating. Keating 1 for 2 today. Impressive season tally for the first year, hitting .438. Keating has started all 5 games for the Bison. Pitch grabs the edge of the zone. Strike 2.
Yeah, it's the arm slot that the pitch comes out of from Taylor. It's not very conventional.
Breaking ball misses 1-2. And Will Taylor's given, you would assume, the Tigers coaching staff more length than they would have expected. And it's very much needed. We talked about the upcoming schedule. They'll play every day until a day off Monday. And then they have games on Tuesday and Wednesday. So as many innings as he can give, they'll take. Sprays that foul onto the roof of the batting cage in left field. Count will remain at 1-2.
And I think for Will Taylor and whoever comes in next, they're going to ask for maybe a more extended outing than they're used to, just to conserve that bullpen.
Lined over the head of Chapness into left field. It's a base hit for Keating, his second of the game.
A good spot. And a good placement of the hit, just right in front of the fielder. Get somebody on, try to get somebody going.
So pitching coach Dave Smith coming out. And it looks like this will be the day for Will Taylor, and what a day it was. So get applause from this Trinity crowd that made its way over here on spring break. 3.1 innings pitched, no earned runs allowed, responsible for Keating on first, but what a day for the first year, as we'll take a break on Tiger Network, a pitching change in San Antonio. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas, where the wind is picking up, nearly carrying away our tent. Thank you, Reed Rosales, for holding that down. Trying to blow our broadcast away, and Clayton Jackson will try and blow the Bison away as he comes into the game. 1-0 record, earning that win against McMurray, a 0 ERA, 11 strikeouts to just 3 walks. Comes in with the runner Keating on first in a 3-run game here in the top of the 6th. First pitch misses inside. Jackson working against the number 8 hitter, Stanley Sipkus. Sipkus 1 for 2, struck out the last time he was up. This is hit a long way foul. Brings the count to 1-1. And this win just came pretty much out of nowhere. It was very calm and steady all day, and now all of a sudden those flags ripping out to center field. Pitch inside, 2-1 from Clayton Jackson. Jackson, an interesting story, was held out of last season, didn't pitch due to injury. Comes back strong this season. Struck out 7 batters against McMurray last Friday. Swing and a miss. Big cut from Sipkus. Brings the count to 2-2. Check on the runner at first, to no avail. Keating dives back safely. The 2-2 from Jackson. Fouled off the base of the bat. In on the hands of Sipkus as Reed Rosales continues to do good work hanging onto this tent. Looks like he's theorizing away where he can not have to do that. Hopefully the wind just dies down, but knowing how this usually works, it probably won't. The 2-2 from Jackson, 1 down in the inning. Did he go? No, he didn't. First base ump saying that Sipkus did not swing. And some of the Trinity faithful baffled by that call. Brings the count full, 3-2. We'll check the replay. Oh, close, close, close. Umpire's discretion said he didn't go. Now a full count, 3-2 from Jackson. Fouled off the base of the bat again, in on the hands of Sipkus. An opportunity for Nichols trying to get back in this game. Tying run on deck. Hit in the air. To right field, Milligan charging in, and it falls in between McDonald and Milligan. Some miscommunication on who was going to catch that ball. Nobody ends up doing it, and it goes down as a base hit for Sipkus. So back-to-back base hits for the Bison. See the replay here. Miscommunication on who would get that. Looked like McDonald's ball. Milligan charging in just the same. Either of them probably could have caught it. None of them do. Runners on first and second. Only 1 down in the inning. A sticky situation for Jackson. A pinch hitter now. Luis Vargas comes into the game. Foul off. Vargas replacing Sean McGee, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. An opportunity for the Bison to get back in this game. The wind really ripping straight to center field. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Clayton Jackson, now 0-2. Luis Vargas trying to get his team back in this game. his second appearance of the season. Has yet to have a hit on the year. What a time this would be for his first. Pitch high, 1-2. So it was smooth sailing for Clayton Jackson against McMurray. Didn't really run into any trouble. Now all of a sudden, and a pickle here with runners on first and second, the tying run at the plate in the 6th inning. The 1-2. In the dirt, a good block by Riding to keep it in front of him. Count evens up at 2-2. Wonder if Nichols has the wind in their sails. The 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, ball 3. So Jackson in danger of losing Vargas when he was ahead 0-2. A walk here would load the bases and put the tying run on. Runners on first and second, 1 out. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off, we'll do it again. So Clayton Jackson trying to get Vargas. So many ways this at-bat could go. The inning could be over. The game could be tied. The countdown count, 3-2-1. Fouled off into the screen, we'll do it again. The anticipation builds. Jackson inherited the runner on first. Got a fly ball into right center. It fell. Now works against the pinch hitter, Vargas. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here we go. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The slider from Jackson gets Vargas chasing and sends him back to the dugout without number 2. Coincidentally, the wind dies down right when Vargas strikes out. We'll have a meeting from pitching coach Dave Smith. T.S. Riding will join the party. Still 1 out to get in this inning. Runners on first and second. Reed, you have your headset in your hands. We'll see if you can make the motion to put it on your head, maybe, while securing the 10.
I got it, Cole.
There you go. Reed's been doing good work hanging on to this 10. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're just joining us from lovely Massachusetts, we do not have a press box here at Trinity University Ballpark. We're the only sport that doesn't have one, just saying. But happy to broadcast these games from the roof of CalGuard Gym, even if my broadcast partner has to hang on to a tent so it doesn't blow away.
The things we do for this network, Cole.
The things we do. The things Clayton Jackson does, striking out Vargas. Putting the Tigers in a much more favorable situation. Still work to do, though. The lineup flips over. Julian Galvin. 1 for 3 today. Fouled off, 1-1. Check that, 0-1. Still above a 500 hitter on the season. Came into this game hitting .615. Understandable why he's in the leadoff spot. If you're hitting over 600, you should be at the top of the lineup. Jackson, fresh off a chat with his pitching coach and his catcher. Ball away, 1-1.
The good thing, if you're Clayton Jackson, you have force outs at pretty much every base. You can just force some sort of weak contact you can get out of this inning.
Now Now the 1-1, 2 down in the inning. Those runners still on first and second. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Jackson working with Keating on second, Sipkus on first. Back-to-back base hits surrendered by Trinity pitching. Working against the leadoff man, Julian Galvin. Ball high, 2-2.
You can see in the background a lot of the Trinity University softball team out here to support baseball. You know, I think a good turnout for the crowd.
Spring break here on the campus of Trinity University, so maybe student body that would normally come to a game can't be here today, back at home, though some of the people stuck here over spring break for one reason or another coming to support the team. 2-2 count in the dirt. So back-to-back full counts, a heavy workload of an inning for Clayton Jackson, trying to hang on to this 3-run lead.
And the tension in the ballpark right now, just knowing that with one swing, this game could change quite a bit.
The 3-2. Runners go. Strike 3! Jackson gets him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Clayton Jackson. It ends the inning. 2 runners stranded for the Bison. Trinity hangs on to its 3-run lead. 6-3 Tigers in San Antonio. Welcome back to gusty San Antonio. Trinity has the 6-3 lead over the Nichols Bison. Sean Ryan back on the mound for Nichols. He'll face the top of the Trinity lineup, Caleb Woodward, leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Tigers. High breaking ball, misses for ball 1. Woodward 0 for 1 today. He's also worked 2 walks in 3 plate appearances. Pitch low and inside, gets away. Count now 2-0.
Of course, Cole, that puts him on pedestrian watch for 3 walks in a game. We haven't had one this year.
Maybe our first. The 2-0. High ball 3. The anticipation builds. Woodward going for the hat trick, the pedestrian, his 3rd walk. Strike called.
Man, strike on the inside. Almost had it.
If only you folks at home knew how badly Reed Rosales wanted this. The 3-1. Close, but no dice. Ball 4, just on the outside edge. And now a full count.
And for me, this is the most tense at bat.
Inside, ball 4, there it is.
It's a beautiful call. Absolutely beautiful. The patience from Caleb Woodward rewarded time and time again. And the Tigers' first pedestrian achieved.
So Woodward on first base, his third walk of the night, the pedestrian. Now Maddox McDonald up, he's 1 for 2 today. They check on Woodward as they've done so frequently tonight. McDonald working with Woodward on first. Trinity up 3, trying to add on. Woodward off and running. Pitch in the dirt, and Flynn, no shot at that. The 6th stolen base of the season for Caleb Woodward.
And Cole, the thing that really made that steal work is that the velo from Ryan is just not that fast. So when you throw a big looping breaking ball, that's kind of just green light, go ahead and take the base.
They try and get Woodward on the back pick. Dives back safely. It's interesting. I think Nichols has executed pickoffs at second better than first, which is very unusual considering the pitcher has to do a full 180. Woodward hops around there still. McDonald takes a breaking ball high on the other upper edge of the zone, 1-1. They try to get Woodward again, doesn't have to dive, gets back safely. Trinity only 5 hits, yet they've mustered 6 runs, multiple walks, particularly from Caleb Woodward. McDonald's also walked himself. The 1-1. High strike called again, 1-2. Pitch from Ryan. High, ball 2.
A good catch by Flynn. Pitch that high, I think unexpectedly that high. If that slipped through his glove, Woodward would have gone to third.
Now the 2-2. Hit in the air, high. Is there a play? There was, but the catch not made. Tipton misread it. He had that incredible catch when the sun was still up. Of stumbling to the ground, making the catch earlier, and I think the second inning this time, not able to read it correctly. So McDonald gets another chance.
And I think the wind has picked up considerably more than his first catch. I think that was really the difference maker, the wind taking that ball and throwing it in a direction he didn't expect.
So new life for McDonald, 2-2. Takes a ball high, 3-2. Still nobody out in this inning. Woodward reaching as the leadoff man. Stole second, that's where he stands now. Now McDonald has worked a full count. Ball 4, back-to-back walks. Handed out by Sean Ryan. And he will remain out there, as both me and Reed. After you hand out back-to-back walks on Nichols, you got to watch out. There's been some short leashes for some of these pitchers. Ryan getting to face one more batter, and it will be Nick Lazera. Lazera 0 for 2 today. Still hitting .341 on the year, 12 RBI. He has walked. Thought about bunting, pulls it back, takes strike 1. Reed, it's interesting that the Tigers are the ones working all these walks today, because last season Nichols drew over 600, or check that, 260 walks. Good for 8th in the country. Something they were very good at. Haven't been able to do that a lot tonight, though.
It's a much different dynamic.
Lazera grounds it. Could be 2. Throw to first, and it is. Sean Ryan showing his glove. The 1-6-3 double play.
An interesting play there. I thought for a moment that Croto might have accidentally slid off the base and trying to reach the throw. The throw from Ryan wasn't the best, but no, double play turned anyways. And yeah, this is gonna go down as a pretty frustrating night for Nick Lazera.
Brings up Will Baker, 0 for 3 today. The OPS still a healthy number at 875. Now ahead 1-0. But Nichols usually works so many walks, and they almost have to keep up with somebody in their own conference. Endicott worked 316 walks last year. That was good for first in the country. And that's who they have to get past, currently ranked number 5 in the nation, according to D3Baseball.com. They've been the king of the conference for a while, a couple of College World Series appearances for that program. That's who Nichols has to contend with. Baker takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, they're trying to take that next step, get into that conference tournament championship and upend Endicott. It's been a while since they've been there.
Strike called, 2-2. Check swing, didn't go. Good take by Baker. Brings the count full. So a very similar situation to the first inning where Woodward and McDonald both walked. Lazera grounds into a double play, and now Baker trying to drive in Woodward with 2 down, and Woodward standing on third. Fouled off the hands of Baker, and it's like he felt that.
It's the second Tiger who's unfortunately had a collision with the hands on the ball.
It looked like that fouled off his leg towards the hands on the bat. Looked like he was wincing in pain, and he's going to take a minute, collect himself. That obviously does not feel good. Will Baker in his first year playing first base. The younger brother of graduated Trinity Tiger Jack Baker, played shortstop for this team last season. Finds himself in a 3-2 count, 2 down in the inning. Baker lines to right, fair ball. Woodward scores. Baker charging in for second. That ball's in the corner. Baker thinking 3. The throw in time. So a good relay from Nichols ends the inning, but not before Trinity tacks on 1 more. It'll go down as an RBI double for Will Baker, 7-3. Tigers have the lead as we head to the 7th in San Antonio. Welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. The Tigers have the 7-3 lead over the Nichols Bison. And the number 2 hitter coming up for Nichols, Hackert. Hackert 0 for 3 today, struck out the last time he was up. Takes a breaking ball high, 1-0. Still a healthy batting average for Hackert and an extremely good OPS over 1,000. The 1-0 from Jackson. Right down the middle, strike one. It was interesting looking at the team and Nichols and how they compare to McMurray. The Tigers, of course, just sweeping McMurray, arguably the second best team in the SCAC. Did it narrowly, but they did it in kind of an unexpected way. Fastball down the middle brings the count to 1-2. McMurray touted for their offensive ability, but Trinity shut them down for the most part. And it was a similar story with Nichols, and so far only 3 runs on the board. We're in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it's that quality of pitching and that depth that the Tigers have.
Hit sky high. Anderson in foul ground, ranges to fair ground and makes the catch regardless. 1 down in the inning.
But it's that depth of pitching that the Tigers have. It's been really good the past couple of years, which is funny because my freshman year I didn't think I'd be saying that a couple years down the line, but man, they've become nationally known for excellent pitching.
Dave Smith coming out to talk to Clayton Jackson. Maybe just going over the matchup. Dangerous hitter in Flynn coming up. Actually, it's going to be a change. That'll be the day for Jackson. He leaves this game after a hard inning of work in the 6th. Gets the first out of the 7th. Pitching change in San Antonio. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The pitching change completed here in San Antonio. It's the closer, Will Hellings, coming onto the mound. You saw his numbers. The ERA a little inflated from that first start he made, but since then, he's been excellent since transitioning to the bullpen. Comes in with 1 down and nobody on. First pitch misses, ball 1. One and 0 to Flynn. Lined into right, a base hit for the catcher, Flynn. His first hit of the day, and who knows, maybe it starts something for Nichols.
Yeah, ball just trying to get it down low. A good piece of hitting there, especially a change in velo. Will Hellings, bit of a flamethrower.
Lined a long way foul and onto the roof of the Bell Center. Carl Miller up to the plate, dangerous. 3 for 3, his average is up to 500 all of a sudden. Lined into right. A base hit, Flynn sprinting to third. The throw from Milligan will be in time, but it gets away. Anderson couldn't secure it. Puts runners at second and third.
Again, maybe a bit of a happy accident turning that one into 2 bases. The throw in, it went off of the runner coming in, and that's what kind of blew that play apart. So a rocky start for Will Hellings.
So 2 base hits the other way, back-to-back, put runners at second and third. Croto, the shortstop, comes up. He's 0 for 3. Fouled back into the screen. Andrew Croto still hitting over 300. We talked about it. Nichols, very dangerous offensively, at least in the early goings, getting to Will Hellings, who's been lights out ever since that first start he made against Austin College. Swing and a miss. Fastball down the middle at 93, and you see a little bit of the heat that Hellings can throw.
Yeah, but Cole, I'd argue that's not his most dangerous pitch either. We'll see if we see it here.
The 0-2. Hit in the air. Shallow right. Catch is made in foul ground. Runner not tagging from third, 1 down. Check that 2 away.
I get the out. Good job by Will Hellings. Just going with the overpower approach. 93, 93, 93 mile per hour fastball. Sometimes a guy just can't keep up.
Jacob Tipton now up. Takes the slider, and that's the pitch you were alluding to. Breaks back into the zone.
It's that difference in speed, called 93 to 80. That's ridiculous.
Now the 0-1. Runners on second and third. Nichols down 4. Swing and a miss. There's the slider again. 79 miles per hour. That's got to be frustrating. You see the guy before you face 93, 93, 93. Back-to-back 80 mile per hour breaking balls. Now the 0-2. Hellings trying to get out of the jam. Down the middle. Not called.
Umpire's going to say it was a little bit high. It looks like a pretty good location to me.
The 1-2. Miller at second, Flynn at first. Ball 2.
It's a new high out of Hellings. 94 on that fastball.
Jacob Tipton 1 for 3 today, hanging in there so far. Was down 0-2 in a hurry. Trying to extend the inning. Off the knuckles, foul ground. Catch not made. Would have been a tough play for Will Baker. He certainly went for it. Ends up hitting in foul ground.
You love to see the effort out of the first year. Yeah, really tough play. Just couldn't quite get to it.
So new life for Tipton. He's battled in this at-bat. 2-2. Outside, 3-2. So now a full count, 2 outs with the tying run on deck. The 3-2 count. Swing and a miss! Fastball down the middle. Tipton goes down by way of the K. 94 miles per hour ends the inning. 7-3. We'll be back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University, where the Tigers lead Nichols 7-3. Grant Anderson set to lead the inning off. 1 for 2 today. He's also worked a walk. Anderson, the first year, getting an opportunity at third base. Kai Tinker getting a day off, and you might see a jumble of lineups during this stretch where the Tigers have 6 games in 7 days, giving different guys rest at different points. Anderson bloops this one into right, and the catch is made. Carl Miller can do it all. What a diving grab by the right fielder. He's 4 for 4 at the plate, and he just made an unbelievable defensive play in right field. Max Milligan now up to the plate, 2 for 3 today, including a game-tying home run. First home run of the season. The senior from Amarillo. Ahead 1-0. Takes a breaking ball inside 2-0. And we'll see this catch again. It looks, no, this is Max Milligan's home run. You see right in that right field corner, just went fair. Pitch very much inside. Brings the count to 2-1.
Cole, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ryan on the mound has been for the relievers, the longest tenured pitcher.
Seems that way. Chopper to second. Sidearm throw made in time by Galvin. And they're 2 away.
At least he's been on for the longest amount of time that we've seen any of the other relievers for Nichols.
Well, it's an interesting change of philosophy. We're taking guys out like nothing. Pignon faced 2 batters before he was given the hook, made an errant throw to first base, and that was his day. Cal Coney comes up, 2 down. Coney has been hit by a pitch, nearly got another one there.
I mean, a lot of maybe pitching by committee for Nichols. I'm really curious how this will translate into their conference play, because if you told me to name one of their starters, they just have openers.
Seems that way. Called strike brings the count to 1-1. They really do it by committee. Of course, Trinity for years had Joseph Chavana and Jackson Tier, and even now with Trajan Lee and company, they have reliable starting pitching fouled off out of play by Coney. But if you look at their starting pitchers, the most innings pitched anybody has is Tim Hudson, the first year from Raleigh, North Carolina, has 6 innings pitched on the season. Outside of that, nobody has anything else, and that was in 2 appearances.
Yeah, very, very interesting to say the least.
The 1-2 to Coney. Breaking ball misses. Brings the count to 2-2. Flynn has done unbelievable work at catcher tonight. Prevented multiple extra bases. 2-2 pitch. High, ball 3. Full count, 2 outs.
It's a big one. Even with nobody on base, you want to get out of this inning if you're Nichols, get your guys back up to bat.
We've seen how quickly things can unravel. 3-2, fouled off, and we'll do it again.
And another thing about Flynn, just think, he's had 5 different pitchers to catch for already. It's a lot of guys you got to get to know really well and have that chemistry with and be prepared for.
Flynn, the senior's done a great job of managing the staff during his time with Nichols. The 3-2 gets him, strike 3. Coney goes down looking, and a 1-2-3 inning. Just on that outside edge. That takes us to break. 7-3 Trinity with the lead as we head to the top of the 8th. Welcome back to the Alamo City. The wind still gusting out into center field. Trinity with the 7-3 lead here in the top of the 8th. Ryan Keating will lead things off. Takes a strike from Hellings, who came in the last inning, got out of a pickle. Runners on second and third. Got a strikeout to end it. Keating with back-to-back base hits. He's 2 for 3 today. Lined into right field. This might find the gap. Keating rounding first. He'll head for second. The throw from Milligan will not be in time. The third hit of the day from the first-year Ryan Keating.
Yeah, Cole. I think it's a good thing that they got the strikeout. I tipped him before he came up to bat, because if he would have done that, that was going to clear the bases. Yeah, maybe one of those what-if questions for Nichols after the conclusion of this game, if the score does hold.
This would have been a very different ball game. Nichols, this lineup filled with dangerous hitters. Stanley Sipkus, one of them, batting .400. OPS exactly at 1,000 right now. Pitch away from Hellings, 92 miles per hour. Talk about the offensive productivity from the Bison. 12 hits, just 3 runs. Haven't been able to capitalize on some of these golden opportunities. It's sky high. Doesn't look like there will be a play. Goes over the Trinity dugout. And Anderson almost had a play. Not made. 1-1.
Again, it's a lot of really good effort there by the Tigers for a play that might or might not have been able to be made. That one might maybe have had a chance. There are a couple of people standing in the dugout, maybe in the way.
Oh, that's one thing you see, this effort just on all sides, trying to make every play they can. Will Baker diving in foul ground, trying to make a catch that I don't really think he had a shot at. Grant Anderson trying to do the same there. This is hit sky high. Somebody's going to have a shot. It might be Hellings. Backs up and makes the play. Tough read with the wind, but Will Hellings able to get the F1. And now Tim Scannell coming out for a full infield meeting. I would assume he's not happy with his infielders relying on the pitcher to make that catch.
Yeah, Cole, I think when I saw him go out there, I immediately thought, man, well, that's a great catch, but the infield might get a little bit of flack from that.
Either way, the F1, for those of you scoring at home, any car fans out there, there you go. Very rare. But Hellings making the play. That's probably the second most impressive one I've seen. Jackson Tier had that one in his 20 strikeout game where he lunged off the front of the mound and made the diving catch. Somehow, I don't know how he did that. Colin Hardy, a pinch hitter coming up for the Bison now, replaces Vargas. Takes a pitch low, ball 1. Hardy, the first year, this is his first appearance, so making his Bison debut here. Works with a runner on second. Thought about it, but takes the slider away, 2-0.
I love it when a coach is not afraid to put in a new guy with a runner in scoring position. It's a big situation for the Bison. They need to start scoring. They don't have a lot of chances left.
We know they're capable. They score a lot of runs. 2-0, misses away, 3-0. So a chance to change a bad streak for the 9-hole hitters on this Nichols lineup between McGee and Vargas. They've combined to strike out 3 times in this slot in the lineup. The 3-0 misses, and that's ball 4. So Hardy comes in, he's patient, he does his job, and he flips the lineup over.
Yeah, the AB, or the plate appearance rather, wasn't very competitive. Pretty much all those pitches were pretty easy to sit back and watch.
So Julian Galvin, 1 for 4 today. opportunity. Runners on first and second. Pitch away. 5th consecutive ball that Will Hellings has thrown. Trying to find his command. You gotta wonder how many times the Tigers will play with fire here before they get burned. Nichols only 5 outs to work with. Pitch way inside. 2-0.
This is getting a bit tough for Will Hellings. There's not really any movement in the bullpen for the Tigers, so they're letting him ride this inning out.
There's a strike right down the middle. 2-1. It's interesting. You almost wonder if the meeting by Tim Scannell to yell at his infielders a little bit for not making that play threw Hellings off for a minute. The 2-1. Fouled into the screen, 2-2.
Now Hellings has a lot of options with his arsenal of pitches that he has to try and get this strikeout or force weak contact for the double play.
This has been an eventful game as promised. Nichols trying to add another chapter. 2-2, swing and a miss. The slider gets Galvin 2 away in the inning.
It's just unfair, Cole. You're up there, you're seeing these 92-mile-per-hour fastballs, sometimes 94, and then he hits you with the 82 off speed. It's just unfair.
So now Anthony Hackert 0 for 4 today. First pitch misses away, and this is a point of success the Tigers have had. They've held Galvin and Hackert to a combined 1 hit today, number 1 and 2 in the lineup. They came in today both hitting over 600. The 1-0 from Hellings. Swing and a miss. There's that slider again.
Yeah, and one thing that's very impressive about keeping Hackert down so much, he went 5 for 6 at Southwestern with 4 RBI.
Unbelievable offensive performance that led Nichols to 13 runs. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 93, and you don't know what's coming when you're facing Will Hellings.
Especially on a 1-2 count.
Runner goes, pitch away, and an easy stolen base. Second to third goes Keating. Puts runners at the corners.
Guess it's open, why not take it?
2-2, inside, 3-2, and now both runners will be off and running. Full count, 2 down. We've seen this situation before, several times in this game. We'll see if Nichols can come through. 4 outs to work with to score 4 runs, 2 of them on the bases. Grounded foul down the third base line towards the Trinity bullpen.
We've had a lot of full counts in this game, Cole, and maybe none bigger than this one right here.
Hackert trying to come through with his first hit of the game. Runners off and going. Ground ball to Baker. He takes the jog to first, and Hellings gets out of it again. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 7-3 Trinity. Only 3 more outs to go for them. Welcome back. A new pitcher in the game for the Bison. It's Andrew Sordos. Comes in with an ERA of 0, 1 inning pitch. He struck out the side. Whip of exactly 1. He'll come in and try and hold this deficit for the Bison. Find themselves down 7-3 and can ill afford to allow Trinity to score any more runs. We've seen it throughout the game. They are capable of getting guys on, and usually they're capable of bringing them in, though that's been a struggle to this point so far.
Yeah, for Nichols, it's another pitcher on the mound that has no ERA. Again, a lot of pitchers have been utilized by Nichols in the first part of this season. Guess we'll see if Sordos can keep his ERA at 0.
Sordos doing some maintenance, tying his shoe, safety first, obviously. Pinch hitter in for the Tigers. It's Jake Henning.
I wonder if something's wrong with his shoes.
It's peculiar, I'll say that. Very interesting. Jack Henning, the first year from Houston, Texas, waiting for his opportunity. Not seen a lot of game action to this point. Getting his first shot at it tonight. Entering his 4th game of the season. He replaces Matthias Writing at catcher. Obviously, he won't play catcher, but he's at least taking over for this at-bat. First pitch, misses, ball 1.
I think as this game nears a close, maybe one of the more frustrating things for Nichols is that you've doubled the Tigers' hits.
It's currently 12-6 in favor of Nichols, and if you'd said that, it would have made some sense. Nichols hits the ball really well. Talked to their coach before the game. Talks about they have cages both inside and outside. Nichols, Dudley, Massachusetts. It gets cold there, obviously, and they can't be outside for a large part of the year. That's why a lot of these East Coast teams like to come down to Texas during spring break. Get some actual baseball reps on the field. Finds the zone, brings the count to 3-1. Hitting is the main thing they can work on. It's hard to work on defense and pitching when it's snowing on your field currently. Fouled off by Henning. Brings the count to 3-2.
That's why we see a lot of these New England teams come down to Texas or go to California to get some spring break games in, because it's just not conducive for baseball up there.
3-2. Lined past the glove and into center field. The first hit of the Trinity career for Jack Henning.
What a way to get it. Another one for Croto. It was so close to getting it just beyond his glove, but congratulations. It's always awesome to see a first in a career.
So Henning on first base. Cam Chapness up to the plate, 0 for 2 today. Trying to get the Trinity Tigers a little bit of insurance. Pitch inside and high, ball 1. As we've seen, 4-run lead, not necessarily safe. Though you would trust Will Hellings on the mound in that situation. Pitch in the dirt, and it'll get behind Flynn. So an easy free 90 for Henning.
Again, it's one of those rare mistakes for Flynn. Well, not really a mistake, more than just can't block the ball, keep it in front of him. It's a free 90 feet, especially with no outs. That hurts.
Mentioned it earlier, Flynn, one of the captains of this team. And I make a note of that because Nichols is really the only team I've seen in a couple years of doing this, and a lot of teams coming in to Trinity University to play baseball. They're really the only one that I've seen designate which players are their captains. Strike down the chute brings the count to 3-1. The other captain is pitcher John Steed. Both of them seniors, and Coach Mayo saying that they're tough guys that understand the way he wants things run. Swing and a miss from Chapness brings the count full.
It's important in team captains. I think the only other team that I've seen wear anything captain's patches, Centenary, in our own conference. They wear a lot of captain's patches, a lot of captains over at Centenary.
3-2, swing and a miss from Champness. He goes down swinging, and there's one down in the inning.
But designated on the roster, I agree, Cole. I think that's the first time I've seen that done.
Caleb Woodward coming up to the plate, and Reed, he has walked 3 times. So what's the next one above?
The next one would be a jaywalker.
Well, not a good start to that. Take strike 1. Runner on second is Henning. Ground ball, foul down the first base line. And going to be tough to get the jaywalker from here, down 0-2.
See, that's what's going to make it all the more magical, Cole, when he does get it.
I like seeing this optimistic side of you. You're not usually that way, so I enjoy that. Glad the viewers at home are getting to see that as well. The 0-2 pitch to Woodward. Hit in the air, a long way high and foul. And we'll do it again at 0-2.
I get optimistic at a lot of walks, and I also get optimistic with palindromes. Fortunately, much more difficult in baseball than it is in basketball and volleyball.
That'd be a lot of runs for that to happen. Pitch high, and there's the first step, 1-2.
At this level of baseball, Cole, I mean, we always say it, it's Division III baseball. Anything can happen.
In the dirt, 2-2. Henning backs his way up to second base, and we're halfway there. Woodward also has yet to have a hit in this game, 0-for-1. His 4 plate appearances, he's walked 3 times. The 2-2, ground ball to second, the sidearm throw in time.
Well, Cole, my heart is broken, but it was a good hustle by Caleb Woodward. I thought for a moment he got there.
Oh.
Very close play. But, you know, you gotta, it is what it is sometimes, Cole.
Galvin took an extra second to throw that. Not usually the best idea when Caleb Woodward's hustling down the line. Does get the out. First pitch misses. A good block by Flynn to keep that runner at third and Henning. Maddox McDonald remaining in the game. 2 down, Henning at third, bottom of the 8th. Things go according to plans for Trinity. This will be the last time they come up to bat. Strike called on McDonald, brings the count to 1-1. Ground ball past the dive of Croto. And in comes Henning for his first career run. It's 8-3 Trinity. RBI single for Maddox McDonald.
And this is a big one, folks. First of all, great hit for Maddox McDonald, but you go up by 5, that is much bigger than being up just by 4. That means you can't just grand slam and tie it. You gotta get it. You gotta get a really good rally.
We've seen crazier things, but it is a big difference in 1 run. As we'll have a mini meeting between head coach Tim Scannell, the base runners, and Nick Lazera, who's due up. Tough day at the plate for Lazera, 0-for-3. Grounded into 2 double plays. He's also worked a walk, but normally a very, very productive hitter. Consistently hitting above 300. Lazaro working with McDonald at first. Takes a strike on the inside edge. You know, something funny happened recently with Nick Lazara. So my first year on the call with Brian Janselson, I'm doing color commentary where you are now, Reed. McDonald dives back safely. And every time Nick Lazera would come up, he was in this slump a little bit. I think he went 1 for 18 during the middle part of his sophomore season, my freshman year. And I would consistently bring it up. I would say, you know, currently in a tough stretch, he's, you know, 0 for 9, or then he's 1 for 10, or 1 for 12, and eventually it got to 1 for 18. So I run into him in the sports information department. He's doing some work, and it comes up somehow, that rough stretch. And he says, oh yeah, I know about it. I remember, you brought it up every single at-bat. So that's just a lesson for all broadcasters watching, maybe to not repeat yourself so much. Pitch in the dirt, and McDonald will slide in safely into second base. Now, of course, Lazera only hit 1 for 18 because he was playing through what we now know to be a torn labrum, which he had season-ending surgery on. And it came back very strong the next year. 360 hitter last year, a 330 hitter this year. Pitch inside, ball 4, and the second walk worked by Lazera.
Yeah, good patience by Lazera. It's always a story of, you never know who's going to go back and listen to these.
Never know.
I've talked to some of the athletes, like, hey, I really enjoyed that call, or, hey, by the way, it's pronounced this.
Those are the worst. Yeah. I don't like those.
Remember.
First pitch to Will Baker, in for strike 1.
For volleyball, Kendall D. Ravel. I think, I'm not even sure that's how you say it, because her parents said it one way to me, then she said it another. Of course, our sports information staff had it a third different way, and at some point I just went.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there. I think you just pick your favorite at that point. The 1-1. Baker takes it. Pitches low, 2-1. Pitch away, 3-1. Sordos struggling to find his command. Trying to send this to the 9th, 2 down, the 3-1 count. Right down the middle, strike 2, brings the count full with 2 down. Base runners will be on the move on this pitch. That's ball 4, and the bases are filled with Tigers.
Man, I'm starting to wonder what the discussion with everybody was earlier. Maybe the idea was just stay patient. Let Sordos get you on himself.
So we will have a full infield discussion. History tells us that this will be a pitching change, and it will be. That'll be the day for Sordos. He leaves with the bases loaded and 2 down in the inning. We'll be back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio. Nolan Sullivan on the mound, ERA of 0 for the Nichols Bison. He'll face Grant Anderson. Slight weather report from the roof of CalGuard Gym. We started at a beautiful 83 degrees and sunny. Since the sun's gone down, the wind has picked up and it has dropped to 68 degrees. So quite the drop. Sullivan fires strike one to Anderson.
Yeah, I'm regretting, this is a rare day where I didn't bring my jacket because I thought, oh, it's gonna be warm throughout the day. I'm regretting that decision.
The 0-1 pitch with the bases loaded. Fires strike two. See, I have my sweatshirt, but unfortunately I don't have enough paperweights to hang on to everything. So I'm just gonna tough it out for another 4 outs here. Blind, and the flip to second will be in time. They get the force out, go the quick way as Croto makes the play to end the inning. 3 more outs to go in this one. Top of the 9th coming up, Trinity with the 8-3 lead. Welcome back to the Alamo City, the top of the 9th with the Tigers up 8-3. Will Helling still on the mound. He'll face the catcher Liam Flynn, who's 1 for 3 on the day. First pitch from Helling's high, ball 1. Couple of defensive substitutions to note for Trinity. Matt McNaney now doing the catching for the Tigers as Matthias Riding was pinch hit for in that previous inning. And John Ramsey takes over for Cam Champness at shortstop. Fastball misses high from Helling's 2-0. Tigers able to notch in another run in the bottom of the 8th, extending their lead to 5, now up 8-3. Fastball down the middle, strike one. Flynn only 1 hit on the day, but he's done exceptional work behind the dish. Trying to get his 2nd hit of the game. Or maybe he'll take a walk, takes a pitch outside, 3-1. Nichols is going to rally. It has to start somewhere. Maybe with the leadoff man, the 3-1 pitch. Down the middle, slider. Flynn, now in a full count. Outside, ball 4. Close pitch, but Hellings doesn't get the call.
Really close pitch, Cole. Just a bit outside. Just, like, not even an inch probably. But base runner for Nichols, that's what you want.
Brings up the cleanup hitter, Carl Miller. He's 4 for 4. Can he go 5 for 5? Takes a pitch outside, a slider, ball 1. 4 for 4 for Miller, all singles. Pitch low, 2-0. So Hellings falling behind back-to-back batters. So we've seen crazier things in this very ballpark. Down the middle, strike one, fastball.
I think maybe Miller took a bit of Hackert's magic that he had in Georgetown, put it into himself. He's hitting really well.
Line past the dive of Anderson, and he's 5 for 5, all of them base hits.
And sometimes you just got to tip your hat, Cole. That is a great day at the plate. That ran in on him, too. It was impressive that he muscled it out there.
So it brings up Croteau, the shortstop. Andrew Croteau 0 for 4 today. Working with runners on first and second. Takes strike one. Croteau, not a bad day defensively, but I would say a tough one. Several baseballs that are just out of his reach over there at short. Trying to take his frustrations out on the baseball. Fouled off 0-2.
This is the type of situation Will Hellings wants to be in. It's always a lot of question marks whenever you get into those 2 strike counts with Will Hellings.
Runners on first and second. Croteau trying to load him up at least. High and inside, slider misses. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. It's one or the other, and this time it was the slider.
Yeah, he went chasing for that. That one just fell off the table. Huge break on that slider that time.
So another strikeout for Will Hellings. 1 down in the inning. Misses ball 1 to Jacob Tipton as that gets away. Unclear whether that will go down as a wild pitch or a passed ball. Either way, runners on second and third.
It's really unfortunate for the Tigers. They kind of gave Nichols a freebie. I was about to say that maybe they'd send both runners, try and avoid the double play, but now they got it for free.
Misses away, 2-0. So 3 of the 4 batters Hellings has faced in this inning. He's fallen behind 2-0. Strike called down the middle. So far a patient at bat from Tipton. He's got Flynn on third, Miller on second. Miller, who's been left stranded a few times, trying to avoid it happening again. Misses low, 3-1, and in danger of loading the bases and putting the tying run on deck.
The Tigers do have some movement in the bullpen, kind of a break glass in case of emergency.
Check swing, called strike. Tipton was headed to first. Thought he had the free pass, not so fast, says the home plate umpire. Countdown count again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on second and third. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Big strikeout call. He blows him away. 92 heater. Again, it's unfair. It's just unfair.
It's a tough pitch to swing at because that looked like ball 4 from that replay too. Just hard to know what you're getting with Will Hellings. He gets back-to-back strikeouts and now a tough challenge in Keating at the plate. Grounded to Ramsey at short, throw to first. Trinity gets the win.
Beautiful ground ball, just taken and thrown. And man, you know, Cole, for a very dangerous Nichols offense. It went the way of the McMurray series. They held them to a nice low score of only 3 runs coming across. It wasn't without its challenges, but still very impressive outing by these Trinity Tigers yet again.
Only 3 runs allowed, but on 13 hits. Just time after time, Trinity pitching getting out of jams, particularly Will Hellings late in that game. Well, that'll be it from us here in San Antonio. Trinity wins 8-3. They're 13-1 on the year. It's hard to believe. You see the upcoming schedule. The Sales tomorrow. We'll be with you for that. And then the Cortland Dragons coming in Thursday through Sunday. That should be a fun one between 2 top 25 teams. And then we got Mary Hardin Baylor and Hardin Simmons coming in this coming week. We hope you stay tuned for all of those games. We're going to be busy here at Tiger Network. We hope you're busy watching with us. For everybody in the control room, Josh Michigemba, our executive producer, and my partner, Reed Rosales, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. Enjoy your night.